Okay, thank you. So I will go ahead. I was introducing our first speaker, who is Jacqueline Chepko H. Kiplagat. I said she's a network and IT support professional with over 4 years of experience. She holds a BSc in computer science degree from Moi University. She also holds a Cisco certification, a Networks Associate certificate from Afralty. And then she won Smart Parking Management category in the Konza Innovation in 2021. She has also worked with reputable companies, including Saiton Investment Management PLC as an IT support engineer and CCOM, Sea Submarines Communications, as an intern, which is dealing with fiber optic communication equipment and monitoring the transmission network. She has also been part of the Telecom Seed for the Future internship program at Huawei Technologies. She has helped companies troubleshoot software and hardware-related issues to ensure the systems are operational, both for clients and employees. She also values mentorship, especially for ladies in STEM. She has been a professional mentor with 2 organizations. These are Kamilimu and Wenters that offer structured mentorship program. So far, she has mentored 10 ladies who are doing exceptionally well in their upcoming careers in education. Her long-term dream is to be first woman CEO of a prestigious telecoms company in Kenya, and she believes in impacting lives through mentorship and leadership. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you, Jacqueline, and thank you so much for being here. So yeah, your session, we have eaten so much into your time, but we will still give you 40 minutes. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Marceline. I hope you can all hear me. Perhaps you can give a thumbs up as well if you're able to hear what I'm saying, so that I'm able to know if I'm audible enough. Okay, good. Okay, thank you so much, Marceline, for that beautiful introduction. My name is Jacqueline, as Marceline has mentioned. I am passionate about mentorship, and that is the reason we are here today for this session. So I just wanted to confirm, Marceline, what time I am supposed to finish so that I'm able to plan my time well. Marceline, maybe you can just cite me. Okay, yeah, or you can just mention it now so that I'm able to record it and know.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes.
Okay, so all right. Okay.
8:30.
So sorry, 8:30. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I have so I'm going to present for 25 minutes and then give 10 minutes for questions, and then allow you guys 5 minutes to fill a feedback form that I have to be able to assist me know how to improve on other sessions that I could have in the future. So I'm going to now share my presentation. So I would want this to be a very interactive session. So you can let me know if you are able to see my presentation. Just a minute. So Marceline, are you able to see my presentation? The slides I've shared?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight ahead to it and really have us discuss on what mentorship is, who a mentor is, and who a mentee is. So that's the first section of my slide. So as you can see here, I have a photo representing or showing exactly what mentorship is all about. And to me, mentorship is more of a process as opposed to an event, meaning that it's a process that continues. It's a relationship that continues. So any moment that you get a mentor, someone who's well experienced in their field, you as a mentee, who is the person who requires support, you are really supposed to ensure that your relationship continues even after a mentorship program or even after the sessions that you have for mentorship. So the main thing that comes to mind about mentorship is the fact that there's one person who's helping another one make significant changes in their thinking, knowledge, or work. So you always want to get a mentor who's well experienced in their field. So for you guys in the engineering field, you'd always want to get a mentor who's well experienced in the engineering field. Now, of course, some of you will be presenting some of your projects tomorrow. Again, you need to have a mentor who's well experienced in those areas to be able to assist you, especially when it comes to really guiding you in the direct path that you need to take. And one key thing about a mentor as well is they are able to provide you with resources that you require. So that is one of the things that we also need to keep in mind. So a mentee is someone now who requires support and help from someone who is well experienced in their field of study or work. And I have put a disclaimer there saying that a mentee is the one who puts in the work. So most of the times you will find out that mentors are very, very busy people. And so it requires the mentee to be the one to put in extra work, to be the one to really to ensure that they're the one who are following up with their mentors. So if the assignments that they're given, they're the ones to follow up with the mentors and to give feedback to them so that they're able to actually improve and understand how best they can be able to assist you. So that is what mentorship is to me. So it is a process and not an event. So it's not something that you start today and you are done with it today. It has to be very intentional in the way that you carry out that process. So moving on to the next slide. So I did some research and these are just crazy stats that I found specifically for Kenya. So there is one researcher called Dr. Chao Mbogo, and she's actually a scientist, and she's the founder of a mentorship program called Kamilimu, where I was a mentor. And she did some research and found out that actually 73 university students do not receive mentorship out of their classrooms. So that is 73 students out of 100, meaning that's a very large number of university students who do not receive guidance and mentorship out of their classrooms. So one of the main things that Dr. Chao was, or rather is really eager to understand is whether university students receive mentorship out of their classrooms to be able to assist them to bridge the gap between what they are taught in class and what they actually come and find in the job market. So say for you engineers, she was really interested to understand if you get mentorship based on what you are taught in class and how you are able to get the job market. And she found out that 73 out of 100 do not receive mentorship. So that leaves us with about 27 only who get mentorship. And that's quite alarming from my side because totally shows that there are some of the skills that university students do not get that will help them even as they transition into the job market. And one of them is communication skills, the soft skills that we talk about. So we have communication skills and also presentation skills. And how are you able to actually present yourself? Say tomorrow when you're going to be presenting your project, how are you supposed to present your project in a manner that the venture capitalists or the guys who will be funding you are convinced in a manner that they're really going to put in money for the project that you have. And the other statistic that I got from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics is that we have 1,000 small businesses that die every single day. I mean, that's very alarming. And in that statistics, they've actually combined both SMEs and startups. So you can imagine if you're having 1,000 dying every day, then that's a very huge number at the end of the year because those are crazy statistics from where I sit. So I think mentorship is very, very important, and we need to ensure that we have more sessions where we get to mentor more people. So my next slide. So I actually also found more statistics. And so this is where I discovered that there's a direct correlation between success and mentorship because we have 71% of the Fortune 500 companies have mentorship programs. So these companies are the ones that are listed by the Fortune magazine, and they're the top 500 companies in the US, and they are ranked by revenue. So meaning the more revenue they have, you are actually better placed to appear in the top 500 companies in the Fortune magazine. And so 71% of those companies have mentorship programs, and they're able to actually take their employees through sessions where they're able to be guided. And the other statistic I found that was quite encouraging is the fact that 70% of small businesses that receive mentorship survive more than 5 years. So I discovered again that the tech startups in Kenya, almost 70% of them do not get into their 4th year. And you see that this year we have 70%, the ones that receive mentorship are almost guaranteed that they would actually survive more than 5 years. And 89% of the people that are mentored would actually proceed to mentor other people. So again, that is exactly, now that actually backs up the point I was telling you guys, that it's actually a process. So once you get the knowledge that you require from your mentor, you are supposed to actually pass it down to other generations to be able to ensure that they, as even them, they're able to actually understand what happens and the importance of mentorship. So I'm going to explain briefly my mentorship journey, and then in the consequent slides, you'll be able to see more of the journey. So in 2020, I was a mentor in Kamilimu. I was a professional mentor and an ICT track mentor. So the difference between the two is a professional mentor is someone who assists mentees to be able to understand what soft skills are very important in the job market. So like some of the things I was doing was to go through the CVs of my mentees and encourage them and actually advise them on how well they need to have their CVs put, and also on their LinkedIn profiles. And we also had sessions on communication skills and presentation skills. So the ICT track mentor is now under Camille. So Camille is a structured mentorship program or organization. And so we have students come in and they're able to select which ICT track they're able to be mentored in. So we had cybersecurity, we had networking, data science, and a few others that I can't remember. And so mentees were supposed to select which track they feel comfortable, or rather they would want to learn more. And so I was the ICT track mentor of the networking portion. And so at the end of towards the end of the program, they were supposed to do a project which they would present, and actually winners were awarded. So in 2021, then I decided to be a mentee myself through Wenters in a program called the We Accelerate program. So this is a program that is for mid-level guys in the mid-level, women who would desire to actually get into mid-level management. And so since I aspire to be a CEO in the near future, I saw that it was a very good opportunity for me to be able to learn. And so in 2021 as well, at work, we enrolled in the Konza Innovation Challenge and we managed to win under the smart parking category. So we had we had two categories that we were presenting, and that's smart traffic and smart parking, and we managed to win in the smart parking. And so we went through an incubation program where again we had mentors who now were taking us through the complete process of how a startup needs to run. And I'll be able to explain more on that. And so in 22, again, I was now a Kamilimo ICT track mentor again under the networking portion. And in 2022, I decided to be a mentor under Wenters, where I had 5 ladies that I was mentoring. So the next slide will now give you the reasons as to why I saw the necessity to join the We Accelerate program in Wenters. So and again, I would really want to emphasize on the fact that it is important to understand why you want to join a mentorship program. You have to be very intentional. You have to have your goals. You just, I mean, it will not make sense to just join a mentorship program and you do not know exactly what you want to get out of it. So it makes sense that before you join any mentorship program, you are able to understand, why do I need to enroll in a particular program. And so for me, again, because I want to share my story today, is because I aspire to be the first woman CEO of a telecommunications company in Kenya. And so the We Accelerate program really is geared towards ensuring that women get into leadership positions. And so you are equipped with the skills that you need. And so that's one of the reasons I joined that program. And the other reason is because I value mentorship. So you can see a photo of me with two of my mentees from Kamilimu. And so the fact that I value mentorship, I knew again that that program would really equip me with the skills that I need to be able to mentor more ladies in the STEM field. And so for you guys, again, you have to be very specific on what goals you need to have. You can actually use I think we all know the SMART goals, yeah? You have to be specific, it has to be measurable, timely, and all that. You need to be able to have that so that you're able to understand exactly what you need to get. What are your objectives of joining a specific mentorship program? So, so of course, now when I joined Wenters, I was given a mentor, and her name is Anwa Weru. She works in National Bank of Kenya as a senior systems analyst. So again, I have been a systems analyst before, so it made sense that I get a mentor who's been in the same field as I am, but more experienced. And so that is why I was now given Anne as my mentor. And the sessions were very, very engaging. She used to actually give me assignments. So I would get assignments, and I would report back to her. And in the course of the week, in the event that I would have any problem, she was very, I would actually reach out to her, and she gave me the time. And so again, so here, these are some of the characteristics or other qualities that you need to look out when you're looking out for a mentor. Again, a mentor has to be someone who's your cheerleader. So if you guys are able to get time, you can go through my LinkedIn profile and you're able to see that Anne has literally, from the time she became my mentor, she has literally liked or commented on any post I have done on my LinkedIn. And I think that's very encouraging, because it shows that she's following up on my journey and she actually knows what I'm doing at what specific time. The other thing that she did was she was very resourceful. There are some materials that she would give me on leadership, on presentation skills, on communication, on negotiation skills. So all those are resources that she actually provided to ensure that I would actually go through them and revert back and actually ask questions. And one of the important attributes that you need to consider when you're looking for a mentor is someone who's a listener. Because most of the times, as a mentee, you are the one to actually lay out what you need, or what areas of your career do you want your mentor to assist you in. So your mentor has to be someone who's a listener, very patient with you, to understand that you are working towards getting towards your goal. And so he or she has to be in a position where um, they're a very good listener, and they're able to actually advise you on what to do and how to move forward with your journey. So some of the skills that, again, I acquired now as a mentee, and you have to be very, very keen again on that, is one of the key skills I got is negotiation. So I remember she gave me a task. We were actually talking about how, as women, sometimes women in tech, we actually have challenges negotiating for our salaries as compared to the male counterparts in the same field. And so as we were talking about it, I remember there's a time we were supposed to now attend the mentorship sessions that were offered by Konza. And I remember telling myself that I could actually talk to my boss and actually try to convince him to allow us, to give us transport to the venue of where the mentorship sessions were supposed to be conducted. And that is how I managed to actually convince our boss to actually tell him that we needed transport to be able to save time, to be able to actually attend those sessions on time, and to be able to get most of what we needed from the sessions. And so that is something that I actually put to task. I actually worked on it, and I was able to get fruits out of it. And so again, I also learned to be a listener, because again, I wanted to be a mentor, or rather, I still would continue to be a mentor. So that was also a very good skill to be able to acquire. And the third one was leadership. So you have to understand the people, understand your mentees, be very considerate with them, allow them to express themselves, actually provide a safe space for them. I think that is very, very important as well. So ensuring that you are in a mentorship program or having a mentor who ensures that you're having a safe space. You're able to be vulnerable. When you're facing issues at work or in your journey, you're able to go back to them and tell them that this is where I'm struggling, and they're able to assist you in that. So those are some of the skills that are very, very key, even as you desire to join a mentorship program. So so I got some feedback from my mentees. So again, after being a mentor, after being a mentee in Winters, I came back to being to again giving back to some of the ladies by being a mentor. And so the photos you see here are just feedback I got from them. And one of them was in Japan about 2 weeks ago, in a program in a science exchange program from JQuat. And she wanted to learn more about Wi-Fi technologies based on the project we had done in Kamilimu. And so she went ahead to learn more, and she was able to get an opportunity in school to be able to go to Japan and actually learn more about robots and how Wi-Fi technology can be used in the robots. And that was very, very exciting for me to see that at least one of the things that I was training them and I was teaching them was actually helping them move forward in their journey. And so in Winters, we talked about imposter syndrome. So Winters is, the program is specifically for women. And so again, women in tech, sometimes we feel like we are not enough. So that is why I decided to have a session with them about imposter syndrome. And one of my mentees mentioned that she really wanted to get internship, and she did not want to get an unpaid internship. So she really declined all the other internships that were coming her way till she got one that was a paid internship, and she was able to get it. And so that is how she was able to hack the fact that, because again, you know, for imposter syndrome, you actually get a lot of thoughts in your head telling you that you're not enough, or rather you're not able to get an internship the way you'd want it to be. And so for her, getting that paid internship and having the patience to wait and being very, very diligent and being patient, and insisting on wanting to get one actually opened doors for her to get that. And so she was just giving feedback on how that session had helped her go through that portion of her life. So as mentees, these are the 3 things that you need to consider. You have to, so for me, so we have 3 circles, as you can see. So the inner circle for me represents growth. So you have to ensure that every single day there's a milestone you're taking. Every single day, make a small milestone every single day as a mentee. So if you are supposed to be working on your presentation skills, look for tools, look for resources that will help you on that. If you want to work on your communication skills, look for a course that will help you in your presentation skills. Rehearse your presentation beforehand. Yeah. Actually, I read somewhere that even like when you're preparing for a presentation, say you're preparing for tomorrow's presentation at 3 p.m. You need to ensure that you rehearse for that presentation at the same time to be able to understand some of the logistics that that could go through. So you can find out that if you say practice at around 3 p.m., it's quite hot. So you may need sort of like to have water, so that you're able to actually ensure that your voice is audible enough. So those are some of the things that you need to do even as you practice for some of those sessions that you'll be having moving forward. The other thing you need to do is to ensure that you do it afraid. Of course, you have to face your fears. Perhaps tomorrow is a very important day for all of you who'll be presenting your projects tomorrow. And of course, maybe you're jittery, you're wondering whether your project is going to go through, but there's nothing wrong with you facing your fears. Yeah, you do it afraid. You are afraid to do it, but you continue to do it because that is the only way you're able to learn from your mistakes. And once you're able to learn from your mistakes, then you know in the future, this is the path I need to avoid. And so it really sharpens you in how you deal with life as well. And the other thing is you need to engage. And so this is basically to you as mentees. You ensure that you need to engage your mentor. So you do not have to wait for your mentor to be the one to ask to be asking you where are you, or rather where have you reached with the assignment I gave you. You have to be very proactive as a mentee, so that the mentor again is able to get the psych, yeah, to be able to assist you, and they'll see that you are very eager to learn, and in that state they'll actually be able to provide more resources for you. So as I near my towards the end of the presentation, so I wanted to share a quote from John Maxwell that talks that says that people closest to me or to you determine your level of success or failure. So the better the people that surround you are, the better you are. And if you want to go to the highest level, you cannot do it alone. You have to ensure that you have each other to be able to take each other to higher levels. And so I actually was to share one quote, but later in the evening when I was going through my LinkedIn, I found a very interesting quote. And so I added it to my presentation. So this is from a guy called Imran Sumra, who's a CEO, who talks about if you have to start hanging out with people who fit your future and not your history. And so if your long-term plan or your long-term career goal is to be, say, the best mechanical engineer, or you want to come up with a startup that will solve very serious problems in the country, you have to start hanging out with people who have been successful. Yeah. So you have to go back and find out what are some of these startups that have done really well, and what is the journey they took to ensure that they got there. And so that is what you have to ensure. So hang out with people who fit your future. So I think that is where you have to go back and figure out who are you hanging out with. Yeah, you have to ensure that you hang out with the people who will fit your future, and of course who are going to help you in your future. So these are the sources to where I got my research and my statistics. So you can go through that later. And so before we ask any questions, I wanted to share briefly on the process that I went through with Konza, the incubation. So I hope you're able to see my screen. So one of the things that, so we had to go through an incubation program with Konza Innovation, with Konza Technopolis, sorry, in collaboration with IBIS Africa. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, thanks. So we had to go through an incubation program. So we had sessions for about, I think, a week, actually about 2 or 3 sessions in a day for a week. And we actually had so many topics, and we had mentors who were taking us through. So one of the things, or one of the tasks that we were told to do, is to fill this experiment board. Now, for startups, and I think this is where most startups go wrong, and I think specifically in Kenya, we always develop a product and then go back and look for the customer for that specific product. But ideally, the process of how a startup needs to start is you have to start from the problem. What is the problem? And how do you want to solve that particular problem? So you start with your why, yeah? You start with your why. What is the specific problem that is being experienced? So for us, what we filled in this form is, so here we were brainstorming on how to solve the traffic problems in the country. And so you can see from this first section, we were trying to figure out who our customer or who our customers can be. So you see, we have Kura, we have NTSA, we have NMS. So that's former NMS. So this is for last year. So NMS was still, they were still there. And so we have the county governments and Kura, traffic policy makers, motorists, mall owners, and all that. So we were putting in all the customers we think we could actually get and would actually be interested in whatever solution we were thinking about. And so the next thing you now have to come think is, what problem are we solving? Yeah. So understand what problem. So for us, the problems we were thinking about is the traffic snarl-ups in the country. We were also thinking about the parking issues, specifically in the CBD. And also we were also thinking about the traffic policy formulations in the country. So you sort of like, I think we all remember when the former governor Kidero introduced drums around the Nyayo roundabout. And that specific day, there was a lot of traffic because people just woke up only to discover that drums had been placed. And the main purpose of the drums was to restrict guys using that inner lane of Nyayo roundabout. And so they were trying to test all that. And so for us, we were trying to figure out and say, why not allow all these policies be tested on a software level, simulate the problems, simulate the solutions. Then before the government actually goes into say that this is the policy that we are going to implement or to formulate, we have actually tested and we have data to prove that this is going to work or this is not going to work. So those are some of the things we were trying to actually think even as we were brainstorming. And so some of the assumptions we were having, so this is the first section of it. And so you see now, after the experiments, so we actually settled on our first customer being NMS. And so we actually, again, settled on the main program being traffic control. And so again, the riskiest assumption that we had was the long commuter time and the traffic congestion that we are having. So this needed us to now go to the ground and find out, do research, do market research, and understand exactly how long does it take for people to be actually to get home when they're leaving their workplaces. And so those are some of the things we were able to do. So you're able to see here, there's an observation that we were supposed to do. We were supposed to measure some of the traffic objectives, such as the queue length and queue delay in the vehicle speeds. So those are some of the things we were actually deliberating to be able to see if we're able to get them. So this ideally should be the first process when you're going through, or rather when you're coming up with a startup. You have to understand what the problem is, yeah? You have to figure out who your customer is going to be, because you do not want to come up with a solution and then you are now looking for the customer. So it makes more sense when you have the problem and you have the customer and you're able to actually engage your customer in a manner that they're able to help you. So let me just share that last one that I wanted to share with you. Just a minute. Yeah, so this is the last one. So after that mentorship sessions that we had with IBIS Africa and Konza, I went down to actually just note down the most important points or notes that I got from that. So this is exactly what I was talking about. So most of us, or most startups, actually start from the business development creation, as opposed to customer discovery, then validate, agree with the customer that this is a problem they're actually facing, and now you are able to make a solution for them. So that's the steps that you need to take. And so you understand that between customer validation and discovery, that is where you're able to pivot that process. And so I just explain a few of the things that you need. So in the customer discovery, you have to understand who has the problem and what problem specifically do they have and how do you intend to solve that particular problem. So again, so you have customer validation. Does that customer exist? Because you can think that the customer you're thinking in mind actually has that solution, and then has that problem. Then you discover they do not have, or rather they are not even aware of that existing problem. Again, you may come up with a solution only to discover that the customer you were thinking would desire that solution are not looking for that specific solution. So those are some of the things that you need to be very, very keen about. Then again, understand, is your customer willing to pay for your solution? At the end of the day, you want to make money. So that is what you have to consider. and then now go through the process of ensuring that now you proceed with the business plans that you have. So go through the validation experiments. How do we validate that that problem exists, or the hypothesis that we have? So you can do that through observation or conducting interviews and stuff like that. So we also talked about product management and shipping. What's the product life cycle, product roadmap, and all that. The importance of actually having sprints where you meet bi-weekly to actually talk about the product development and what are the results and how are you going to get there. Yeah. And so this is just a photo of what aligning your goals and your focus and all that. So session 3, we talked about financial modeling and budgeting. So you'll see a lot of mathematics there and finance stuff at that point. Then we talked about business modeling, the importance of having a core business matrix even as you move forward. And these are things you will actually get even as you prepare for your projects. You may actually find that you're asked, who are your customers? What is really unique about the solution you were offering? What is the problem? How do you stand out as a startup and stuff like that? And so we had stuff to do with your pricing strategy. How do you now, after you've come up with the product, how then do you ensure that you are pricing it in a manner that you will be able to actually get a lot from it and actually make money that makes sense to you. So that is what I wanted to share with you. If you would need more assistance on that, you can reach out to me. Yes, and I'm done with my presentation, so I'll give time for questions, and then we can proceed.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie. You have really been so generous in sharing your journey, sharing your knowledge and everything about mentorship, Konza, the way you guys are taught. It has been amazing to me, and I really feel like I've actually learned so much from you. And guys, I hope you've heard mentorship is important. Look out at the people you hang out with because they're the ones who shape the way you're going to be. So it is time for Q&A, and if you have a question, you're free to raise your hand. Also type in the chat. Pondo has a question already. Pondo, if you would like to ask your question, you can just unmute.
Hi. So my name is Opondo Bruno, a student at Kenyatta University taking electrical and electronics engineering. So my question goes to Jackie. Okay, you have said about Kamilimu mentorship, and you have said the guys are being mentored in under some special courses like data science, IT, and others. So like I was asking, how does one become a mentee in Kamilimu?
Thanks, Opondo, for that question. So I have shared a link to the Kamilimu website. So they usually have cohorts that they take in. So I know already there's a cohort that's ongoing. So you might not be able to join in at the moment. But the best way to know when they'll be taking the next cohort is to check their website. You can follow them up on Twitter, on LinkedIn as well, because they actually advertise when people need to actually join in their programs. And for the 2 years I've been there, I have not seen anyone from MOI join. So I don't know what's happening on that line, but I think it's something that you really need to check out. Kamilimu, Dr. Chow does a very good job when it comes to mentorship. And so it's very structured in the sense that you're actually taught from soft skills to how to present your project, to actually getting to pitch your idea in front of judges. And so you're really taught in a manner that is really going to assist you guys. So I think I've been able to, I hope I've answered your question, Opondo.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
follow up on that about Kamilimu.
Yes.
Maybe someone might be interested. Is it only for students or non-students can also participate?
So the main goal of Kamilimu is to bridge the gap between university students, actually what they're taught in class and what they come to get in the job market. So you can actually have first years to fourth years being there, to actually fifth years being there. So the whole idea of mentorship is you would want to be equipped well before joining in the job market, because it helps you to actually know, this is what I need to expect when I get into the job market. So again, there's wenters that the ladies can join. So for wenters, they have several programs and cohorts. So that one you can actually join in even when you're working or even when you're still at school. So I think for wenters, it's a bit easier if you'd want to be a bit flexible, because for Kamilimu, they really look towards ensuring that people are still in school, or rather they're about to finish school. And so that is how they're able to assist them. That answers your question, Marceline?
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Any other questions?
Yeah. Meanwhile, as someone else is preparing for a question, Jackie, since you are a mentor and you're really an expert in this, I wanted to know if you are open to mentor anyone here in the group who might want to be mentored by you, or if you're open to that, and how they can reach you, and something like
that. Absolutely, it's really something that I'm very passionate about. So let me just share my LinkedIn profile and my email account and my Gmail account to you guys. So in a few minutes. I can also share my number. So that's my LinkedIn account. Jackie.kiplagat is my email, and my number is 0715 752 908. So I think that's enough. You guys on my Facebook account.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's, you should be able to reach me. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I think because of time, we've come to the end of our session with Jackie. So
I think so Marceline, before we finish, I had created my own feedback form. So let me just share it. Then guys can fill it, and then so that I'm able to get feedback on how. So I've shared that. It's a Google Docs. Guys can actually just give feedback there, and anything else that you'd want to mention. Yes. Thank you so much for this. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and in the near future. Thank you.
you're very much welcome. So thank you for finishing us on time. So our next speaker today, we have Vincent Olema. He's called Vincent Olema. So
good evening, everyone. Good morning. This is Vincent Olema from Uganda. Fortunately, I'm traveling, connecting from city to city, now connected to Nairobi. I'm on the way, so I may not be so clear during my presentation. And of course, I also have passengers close to me. So you might be listening to some other noises and so on. Yes, can I share my screen? My presentation. Am I clear?
can share. Vincent, I think you can share your screen.
Absolutely shared.
Hello, Vincent, if you can hear me. Good. So before Vincent starts, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Vincent Olema. Vincent Olema has spent over 13 years working in different telecom companies in Uganda Telecom, Warid, Airtel, and MTN Uganda. He has acquired considerable working professional experience over the years. He has demonstrated in the aspects of installing, maintaining, and designing telecommunication systems for broadband, cable, and cellular, including renewable energy such as solar. He's the founder and head of engineer Hologic Technologies. He's a PhD fellow researcher, and his research areas entrepreneurship and innovation engineering, e-learning platforms, and robotics, and Lego education and electronic systems. He's a senior IEEE member and has volunteered in many positions, and such as chair in the IEEE Electronic Society Uganda, Industry Engagement Uganda, membership development officer, Rotarian E-Club Silicon Valley, among many others. So welcome, Vincent, to this forum. We're happy to hear from you. Thank you. Hello, Vincent. Vincent, can you hear me? Hello. I think Vincent is facing some connectivity issues. Let's allow him to rejoin. Meanwhile, guys, you can fill the form that Jacqueline shared. We will appreciate your feedback. If you also had any other pending question to ask Jackie, because of time you didn't ask, feel free to ask also as we wait for Vincent to rejoin us. Oh, seems Vincent is having problems, but he is trying to join because on transit he's traveling to Nairobi. So meanwhile, I'd like to hear from you guys. Those of you who hadn't introduced yourselves, you can take this opportunity to know one another. At least introduce yourself, tell us what you have learned, what you look forward to tomorrow, and if you're prepared. We can start with you. I'll use alphabetical order. So Charity. Hi, Charity. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you, yes. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so my name is Charity Jelimo. I am a student at Kirinyaga University. I pursue Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering. I am a third year, and this meeting or session has been so useful, very useful to me. I've really learned mentorship matters and what I'm expected to do as a mentee. And apart from like what I'm expected to do as a mentee, like what am I, while looking for a mentor, what am I supposed to look for in a mentor? Like somebody who will be a resourceful cheerleader and a listener. And again, about the SMART goals, the SMART, like while in a mentorship, like just don't a mentorship, like have goals and objectives that are clear and measurable. So the session has really been very awesome and so that's about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charity.
Okay, thank you.
Dan Mwangi, can you hear me? Just unmute. Oh, sorry, Dan. So we have Emmanuel Nzei. Hi, Emmanuel. Okay. Felix. Felix.
Hey, everyone. Hello. Hello, are you able to get me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm called. I'm glad for this platform. So, mentors and what they it is able to give us this, and through charity Jelly was just spoken, exposed me to this kind of platform to learn from the people who have been in the field. Sometimes I am looking forward to meet a mentor who will hold my hands, because I have a peer mentor that hold my hands in any case, so at least I can learn more from him or her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felix, for that. Although you're breaking a bit, but we have heard from you. Thank you for introducing yourself and telling us about your experience and expectations. So, Kevin, you're next. You can just unmute, tell us a bit about yourself. Hi, Kevin. Okay, maybe Kevin is not in a position to. So, Pius. It's okay, Kevin. Thank you. Pius Karaoke. Okay. Tony Mayo. If you can hear me, kindly unmute. Tony seems to be at a rainy place. Tony, you can just type your intro. Walter. Hi, Walter. Okay. Walter doesn't seem to be available. We have Amos just joined us. Amos Mogi, how are you? You can just unmute, greet us. This is the Chipotle Entrepreneurship Week, and we were having a session about mentorship. So you can unmute and just introduce yourself. Thank you, Kevin. I can see Kevin says he's Kevin Angose from Moi University. Thank you for joining us. So it seems Vincent is not joining again. So we are really sorry about that. And I hope when we meet him tomorrow, he'll be able to train us about his session. So I think we'll just have to end it there. So guys, I hope you are ready to present your projects tomorrow. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us today. We have really learned so much from you. And we look forward to you mentoring us and sharing more and getting to know one another more. And to all our attendees, we are truly grateful for your patience, for joining us. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow in the KSYP. We have amazing sessions lined up for us and pitching of projects. We'll have our winners announced on Friday. Thank you. If you have anything to say, you can just unmute and tell us anything, guys, before we leave.
kwa sawa.